Welcome back, fellow Lumineers. So it is set champ season, and this is the deck profile that you're probably going to run into, or you might even want to play. So I want to do a quick little video on my Emerald Amber dogs list that I will be running in my set champs. The video itself will contain the deck profile, we'll go over some lines you might want to run, as well as some gameplay at the end of the video. So without further ado, let's jump right into the deck itself. As always, we'll start off with the 1-drops. So this deck is running 4 copies of Lady Decisive Dog, 4 copies of Lady Elegant Spaniel, 4 copies of the new Webby Vanderquack, 4 copies of Daisy Duck, as well as 4 copies of Bobby Zimmerowski. At 2, we are running 4 copies of Lilo Escape Artist, running 4 copies of Tramp Enterprising Dog, 4 copies of Gogo Tamago, 4 copies of Mowgli, as well as 2 copies of Ursula. At 3, we are running 2 copies of Raja, 2 copies of Clarabelle, and at 4, a lone 4-drop Webby Vanderquack. And to finish off our character cards, we are running 4 copies of Lady Miss Park Avenue, as well as 4 copies of Tramp Street Smart Dog. For our non-character cards, we are running 3 copies of Della's Moon Lullaby, 2 copies of Under the Sea, 1 copy of Remember Who You Are, and 3 copies of Emerald Chromicon. One of the newest additions from set 10 into this deck profile is Webby Vanderquack. This card synergizes well with Decisive Dog, similarly to the way in which Tramp did in previous sets, in previous dogs lists. So what Webby Vanderquack does is when you play this character, chosen character gets +1 this turn. Obviously, it's very similar to the way in which Tramp operates, except now you don't have to run Merryweather, as Merryweather is quite expensive to get this going. Webby is perfect. So let's say you open up with a turn 1 Lady. On turn 2, you can ink, play Webby, play an additional 1-cost character, and then Lady is above 3 strength and can quest for 3 that turn and get the ball rolling. In matchups where, in some of your slower matchups, like with Sapphire, this is essential. So having the additional card, having 8 cards that do essentially the same thing for Lady is substantial in these matchups. So in regards to Mowgli and Ursula, I can see an argument for how you want to split this up. I see a lot of people doing a 3-3 split, which is obviously fine if you think that works for you. However, in my games, I'm noticing a lot more decks are running action cards opposed to song cards. Obviously, Ursula is still good into your steel matchups, where you can rip the strengths or the thunderbolts out of your opponent's hand. But into pretty much everything else, Mowgli is better. And Mowgli will be hitting things like Spooky Sight, Sail even. Like if you're on the play, you obviously turn 1, turn 2, you could play Mowgli and rip out their Sail if they don't have an additional action or song in their hand to discard. The downside obviously with Mowgli is that you don't get to choose. So if they have more than 1 in their hand, they get to pick the most opportune one for themselves, opposed to Ursula where we rip it. But I still think that having the 4 Mowgli over the 4 Ursula is the better way to go. Now, a card that I don't see many people playing is Remember Who You Are. I think this is a fantastic card, obviously as a one-of in these lists, as you don't want to have more than 1 of these in your hand at any given time. So it's always safe to just run 1 copy. Obviously, you're not going to run into it that often with it being just 1, but in the moments where you do run into it, I think it'll be beneficial for this particular list. as especially into your Amethyst matchups, where they have so many options to refill their hand. Something like Remember Who You Are. Of course, you're taking a turn off from questing and going wide, but you do have the capacity to empty your hand, and then on turn 4, you remember who you are and refill your hand. And for aggro lists like this, that can really make the difference. Now let's quickly go over some matchups for this particular list. Obviously, this deck can run under Sapphire lists pretty easily. You still have to be careful of like the Sapphire Emerald list, which can mean Malicious, Mean, and Scary, and then Prince Philip on you, or even Spooky Sight for that matter, as they are usually running a 1-of that. But you really want to try and go wide as fast as you can, as early as you can, before they're able to get that off on you, which is very doable in this particular meta, as those decks are quite slow and don't really have answers for these early builds that can flood the board. Now, going into your purple steel matchups, or your steel matchups for that matter, it's going to be a little bit more challenging for you. Obviously, in these matchups, you want to establish your Emerald ChromiCon as early as possible, while still trying to go as wide as you can. So maybe if they're turn 1 hook, you're not going to really want to start questing until you have your Emerald ChromiCon out, or you can establish your Street Smart Dog and find your Under the Sea, and then start questing. You really have to be patient in the steel matchups, as they can really control what you're doing. They can really take advantage of your impatience. Now, I know Set Champ season has already begun. However, let me know in the comment section if you are planning to run dogs, and whether or not you're going to give this particular list a try, or one of the many other lists out there. Maybe you're going to run Circle of Life, which is also a cool looking list that I have not given the time. I like the ChromiCon version, but let me know in the comment section what you're running this Set Champs and how well you did. Thanks again. Bye, goodbye.
You too.
It's Webby.
Uh-huh. And Clarabelle play Clarafiki.
For 1, hey Bobby, stop. Gentlemen, go. Play Tramp, quest for 2.
Yeah.
You get a trigger.
Cusco.
Pass.
Ink the Cusco, play Clarabelle Rafiki. Yeah, let's put 3 damage on him.
One, play Bobby. No effect. 1. Play Lady. And that's
an hour ago. Since then, he was starting to make headway.
Ink the Webby, play Prince Philip. Then
The 2. Play tap.
Yeah.
Got 5. Discard Lilo. Tap.
There's no way.
Lady.
Y'all need to down.
Okay.
In seconds.
And pass.
How many cards do you have in hand?
Based on the past map. There are 120 combines in here. For a year.
Hmm. Hmm. Um. Hmm. 2 cards in hand. As much as I don't want to do that, I think I'm not gonna try to high roll. Let's do some download into the ink. Let's play Keela.
What does that do?
I can pay 1 to booster 1 attack, and I can keep boosting.
That's a 2/5,
So-
right?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I figured I might as well not give you cards. Yeah, I guess pass.
Alright, I'll pay 2 to bring Lilo back.
Yep.
Go home. Oh, ink trap. Play Daisy. Bobby and trap. Staying under the sea.
Sure.
Now plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, pass.
Alright.
No cards in hand. Did you get the Daisy trigger?
Oh, I didn't. It was stop chaos and distracts.
Oh, okay.
So that'll go underneath. And drop return. In Clarabelle, play Donald. Four, 6, 8. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 15. cards you got in hand?
0.
Sing. Mother's knows best. I'm gonna do it on your tramp. And pass. Yeah, it's GG. It's GG's, bro. I got Cusco on the top.
Good game, brother. Good game.
Yeah, for sure. It was too quick.
Yeah. Okay, buddy.
Yep, this deck is definitely not good against quick ones.
No, but it's pretty good though.
It's good, yeah. 100%, it's good. I just didn't get to see what I seen.
Yep. Take it easy, buddy.
You too?